Hey, what's up, guys? You read the title, you know why you're here. Now, before I do this review, I got a couple disclaimers for you. First of all, I was excited for this movie because I like movies about smart people. And the movie's called Genius, so go figure. But generally, I'm talking about movies like Good Will Hunting or like The Imitation Game, just shit like that. Second of all, I don't like giving movies negative reviews. So every time I give a movie a bad review, I feel like I'm just shitting on somebody's life work, and I really don't want to do that. I want to run around and tell people how good of a time I had at the movies. But I gotta be honest, I can't do that with this movie. I just can't. This movie had a crazy awesome cast. You got Jude Law, Colin Firth, Nicole Kidman, Linney, Guy Pearce. You cannot go wrong with this cast. Or at least that's what I thought. First thing about that, Guy Pearce is in the movie for maybe 4 minutes. Maybe. However, Colin Firth was still pretty good, so it's not all bad. Because let's be real, even bad movies have at least some redeemable qualities most of the time. However, Nicole Kidman, not her best work. She wasn't bad, but she kind of overdid it a lot. I hated Jude Law in this movie. I thought he was great as Watson in the Sherlock Holmes movies. If you really want to see Jude Law kill shit, watch Road to Perdition. But anyway, I digress. The point is, he was so fucking awful. His southern accent was fine, but his acting, oh my god. Like, every line he had to deliver had to be this Shakespearean retarded limerick language. If this was a stage show, that actually might have worked, because he was very physically animated and he was very loud, but this isn't a goddamn play, it's a movie. That's not supposed to happen. Ergo, did not work. I legitimately wanted to leave the theater because I was so annoyed by his performance. But I stuck it out and I got through it. And like I said before, Guy Pearce in it for 4 minutes. What the fuck? The kicker, though, is that he plays F. Scott Fitzgerald. And what they should have done was made an entire movie where Guy Pearce plays F. Scott Fitzgerald. That I would have seen. And the movie also was very gray. Like, it just had a very dim color palette. Which initially I had a problem with, but over time I'm like, no, that's normal, because this movie's set in the late 20s, early 30s, so that's kind of actually normal for the time. But when you're trying to be historically accurate, you can't let shit like that bother you. So I kind of gave him a mulligan on that one. And there was a couple things that you're just like, why? Why the fuck is that in the movie? At one point they have some guy playing Ernest Hemingway. It's literally a 2-minute scene after they just caught a fish, and you're like, why the fuck was that even in the movie? They just kind of shoehorned Hemingway in there just to make the film look better. That may have been historically accurate as to how it happened, because he did kind of like foreshadow the shitty outcome of what would happen, but you could have very easily had that come from his wife or some other character, or for fuck's sake, Guy Pearce is in the movie for 2 more minutes, God forbid. Basically, I thought the scene was bullshit. I'm sorry, I can't help it. And then another thing I was just kind of like, what the fuck at, was when Jude Law is kind of taking Colin Firth through his old apartment, and that could have been a really powerful scene, but it just kind of like fell flat. And the worst part was at the end of it, Jude Law just kind of like puts his arm around Colin Firth and then like puts his head on his shoulder, and right when that happens, you start thinking, these guys are about to fuck each other, aren't they? Luckily they didn't, but that was just like a stupid thing that was in the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck is that for? But as I said before, some bad movies even have redeemable qualities, so let's get ahead with those. They did a cool thing with Colin Firth and his wife, and Jude Law and his wife, where there were kind of like parallels between the two of them. Both of them kind of start off not appreciating their family units for what they are, and it actually happens that one character is stagnant and continues to not give a shit, but the other character grows to understand having a good family foundation and how important that is, and how much little time you have before your children grow old. That was really cool. And I also totally forgot to explain the plot. Jude Law plays Thomas Wolfe, and Colin Firth plays Maxwell Perkins, his editor. This movie illustrates how the editor actually has a lot of say in what happens when a book is published. Colin Firth himself actually says out loud, do editors really make books better, or do we just make them different or more digestible? It really puts forth this idea that art is kind of this collaboration, but does it need to be a collaboration? And can it just be all about one person's vision? And I thought that was a really good concept and a really interesting question that a lot of people have to ask themselves when it refers to like everything that has to do with creativity. I think the best scene in the movie, though, however, is when Jude Law and Colin Firth are in a jazz club, and Jude Law is trying to explain how creativity works for him. And Colin Firth says, oh, I'm not that big into music. But he's like, there's this one song that I do like. So Jude Law then proceeds to ask the band to play that song. The trumpet player starts playing the melody to the song that Colin Firth likes. And then because the band uses that main lead melody as kind of an influence for this freeform jazz odyssey that goes around. So it's kind of like art comes from something, but it becomes something else along the way. And that is a brilliant analogy for creativity. So all in all, this movie did have a lot of things going for it, but it just fell short, and Jude Law pissed me the fuck off. I never thought I would say that ever in my entire life. I gotta give this movie a 4. This would have been a terrific stage show. I'm convinced of it. And it would have been nice if Guy Pearce was in the movie a little bit more and they got rid of that Ernest Hemingway scene because it was pointless. I can't really recommend this for anybody unless you're like a super classic literature nerd. Then you might get a kick out of it, because there's a lot of classic literary quotes and references and shit like that. So maybe if you're into classic literature, you might connect with the movie a little bit more. If you like the movie, great. Sorry I didn't. It happens. Alright guys, that was my 2 cents for the day. Hope it was worth it. If you like the review, cool. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit. And I will see you guys next time.